I'm Tony Miles, the Superintendent Minister here at Methodist Central Hall Westminster, and I had hoped to be able to welcome you in person, but sadly the pandemic has meant that this 60th anniversary of Christian CND has had to move online, and also on a date when I can't actually be with you. Nevertheless, as CND was launched, its first meeting was here in this great hall in 1958. And so I'm absolutely delighted to be able to greet you on your special occasion on behalf of my colleagues, the conference centre here, and the church that's at the heart of this wonderful building. For those who are unaware, on the 10th of January 1946, in a world that was convalescing from the horrors of a world war, the inaugural meeting of the United Nations General Assembly took place here at Methodist Central Hall Westminster. Unscathed by the war, this building was an ideal choice to host the General Assembly. The trustees at the time, though, had to be persuaded by the Foreign Minister Ernest Bevin to vacate the premises. He said that there could be no better place than a house of God with an atmosphere of prayer that was already there. The Reverend Dr. William Sangster and his congregation then vacated the building. And they went to the Victoria Palace and then to the London Colosseum because the Victoria Palace wasn't big enough for the congregation. This hall was then redecorated. Seating was removed, carpets were laid, and translation booths were installed as well. Tables 40 foot long were put in place for the delegations of over 51 nations that were attending. The first resolution of the UN General Assembly was on the 24th of January 1946, and it included proposals for, and I quote, the elimination from national armaments of atomic weapons. It was unanimously accepted. And then in the 1950s, when Europe was gripped by a very real fear of nuclear conflict, CND was launched, building on the earlier work of anti-war movements. And it all began with a public meeting here on the 17th of February 1958. Thousands of people crammed into this great hall with 4 overflow halls, all wanting to campaign for nuclear disarmament. Later, on the 13th of November 1961, there was another meeting at the Royal Albert Hall, and there the playwright and novelist J.B. Priestley was one of the speakers. From the very beginnings of CND, Christians have been involved. In fact, I'm told Canon Collins from St Paul's Cathedral was its chair. And it was a natural progression for Christian CND to form in 1960 as a specialist section of CND and reporting to its AGM. The aim? To follow the example and life of Jesus Christ, and in doing so, take the aims and objectives of CND into the Christian community. CND members believe that this is part of their Christian vocation. So as you meet here today for your conference, or wherever you are watching this, may I offer MCHW's belated congratulations for your 60th anniversary. Please be assured of our prayers for your online gathering and for your ongoing endeavour as well. And may the Prince of Peace enable this meeting to be an instrument of peace and enable us all to be peacemakers, practising tolerance and living together in peace with one another as good neighbours. May God richly bless you all.